Okay. Gonna do, this is gonna blind me. Whoa. Oh, look at. All right, we are gonna do a prep vlog. I'm gonna show you guys how I prep, and I'm also gonna show you how I make the best oatmeal brownie you're ever gonna have. But first, we're gonna jump into some meal prep, show you guys how I prep for the next day, and then we'll get to the brownie. Actually, I might do the brownie before I meal prep, that way I can get the brownie in the oven. Let's do that. Let's put the brownie in the oven. So, in the program that AJ has set for me right now, I have oatmeal every night of the week. Leg days being the highest days, so it's 100 grams of oatmeal. For the rest of the days, push-pull and non-training days, it is 75 grams of oatmeal. So I use these oats. I use the quick oats. So I have 75 grams of oats. I have 200 grams of blueberries. So I'm going to use these frozen blueberries here. A couple people message me and they're like, hey, how do you make that? You know, how do you stick to plan while making that? And my wife helped me with this a lot, so kudos to her for helping me get this down right. But I'd actually seen one of AJ's athletes, Dr. Zena, she had made like an oatmeal cookie on her Instagram, and it was through her air fryer. And I tried that and absolutely ruined it. I actually tried it twice, and I ruined it both times. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to attempt to try this in the oven. And my wife helped me figure out like the proper time and everything to put it in the oven. So we got it down pat now, and it's really, really good. So we've got the 200 grams of blueberries, 75 grams of oats, and then we've got 50 grams of whey isolate. And I use the peanut butter chocolate. Got to let the blueberries heat up in the microwave. I put them in the microwave for about 2 minutes 30 seconds to let the blueberries kind of thaw down a little bit and melt, and then we will get into mixing up our oatmeal. I've got like the good setup going on because my battery's charged, so I have like this really nice light that I noticed also makes my face look, jeez guys, I look like a skeleton. Okay, so the blueberries should look like this. And now it is time to add our oatmeal. Trying to get this to where you guys can see it. Boom, 75 grams of oats. And now we will mix this up. I've got to get a larger tripod for this thing. I love the tripod that I have because it's like a charger. So like if my battery starts to go dead, which it will with the mic and the light on that GoPro, but I can plug it straight into that handheld tripod, and it charges my battery for me when I'm not recording, so that's pretty cool. So now let's mix this up. So I don't apply any water to this. I just mix everything up real good because there's already water in the bowl from the blueberries. So I get everything real good and mixed first before I apply any water. That way I know exactly how much I need to put in there. which reminds me I need to preheat that oven right now before I go any further. So I'll show you guys what I do here. Don't mind the dirty pans. I'm going to be cleaning these up for meal prep. So preheat to 350, and I have got to take out everything in here. I really like making this cookie just because, or brownie. I guess I should call it a brownie because that's what it's most like a brownie. But I don't know, it kind of changes things up a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the oatmeal. It does not bother me in the slightest to eat my oatmeal. This kind of just, like if you watch my full day of eating, you heard me talk about how that breakfast that I eat, it kind of helps your brain into thinking you're eating something that you shouldn't be eating. And it kind of helps with cravings, so this kind of does that for me. If I'm eating this thing that looks like a brownie with like cake batter on top of it, my brain just stops the thinking of cravings because it thinks I'm really eating something that I shouldn't be eating in a way, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So now I poured just a dab of water in this. So I'll show you what the consistency should look like. So this is what your consistency of the oatmeal should look like. Not too thin, but not too thick either. Something that you could spread around in a pan really good. Like I could spread that around quite easily. So that's what we're going to go with on that. And then I will add 25 grams of the 50 to this bowl of protein. So I add 25 grams of protein to this bowl, and I'm going to bake that in the brownie. And then my other 25 grams, because we get 50 total, is going to make a whey paste, which is going to be the icing that I put over top of this. $25 grams of protein. Now I will mix all this together, and then we will put it in the non-stick baking pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix all this up. And that protein too kind of makes this a little more easier to spread. Like once the protein gets in there and it gets mixed up really good, it kind of makes it the consistency a little more like runny, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, so once that's mixed up, this is with the protein in it. This is the consistency that you should be at. Now we will get this put in the pan. So I just have a normal non-stick pan. Get my little cake batter tool here because every gram counts right now. So I'll make sure that every single gram of oatmeal that I put in that bowl and every gram of blueberry goes into this pan. And I also just enjoy this. Like I've always enjoyed cooking. Even thought about going to culinary school years ago. Not saying by any means that I'm good at it, but I enjoy it. Making sure I get every single ounce of oatmeal out of this bowl. Okay, now we smooth this out into our pan. And I make the middle just a little thinner than the rest of the areas so that the middle cooks through just a little better. But you don't want this to cook to where it's like dry. You want this to cook to where it's done on the outside but still got that nice like soft texture on the inside. So if you do it this way, helps that. Okay, and this is what it should look like in the pan. Smoothed out real good and nice. Sometimes I'll take it and just kind of give it one of those. And now it is time to put this bad boy in the oven. And I'll set a timer on my watch for roughly 20 minutes. We set this in this tray here. And now I will set the timer. So now that can bake while I'm getting my food prepped for tomorrow. Timers, where's the timers? Set it for 20 minutes. So timer is set for 20 minutes. We'll let that bake and let's get started on the rest of the meal prep. All right, so now we're going to throw on the 2 meals that I prep every single night. I always prep meals 2 and 3 together. Like I told you guys in the full day of eating video, if you watched that, I've always prepped those 2 meals together. Those are the 2 meals that I take with me to work. Normally I have my breakfast here at home, leave out for work, and then I take these 2 meals with me, eat them at work, and then I have dinner fresh at night, along with the brownie fresh at night as well. So those are the 2 meals. But these 2 meals I have to take to work. So I'm gonna show you guys how we do this here. So got my non-stick pan, and I'm super finicky about my pans. So like, I make sure that I wash this with like the soft side of the cloth. I don't use any non-stick spray. Now I do use this olive oil. This olive oil here. So I don't really consider this like a non-stick spray. Like it's just more of an oil. But I don't use any non-stick sprays because I don't want to damage the pan. And even when I use this oil, I don't use like a whole lot. I just give it like a light spray on the bottom. So the meals call for it being leg day tomorrow. I'm gonna have rice in both meals. But I already know that I'm gonna have 200 grams of chicken per meal and 100 grams of veggies per meal. So I just cook all that together in one setting. So 400 grams of chicken, 200 grams of veggies. I cook all that together because once it's cooked, I don't have to weigh it anymore, and I can just separate it out, you know, evenly by eye. I'm kind of used to doing that now, and I know that I'm getting everything on plan, so I don't really stress about that. And these like chicken bits that I don't use, like if there's like gristle or anything on the chicken that I trim off, I throw it in the air fryer, which is what's in there right now, and I air fry that for my cat, Mr. Cotton, who is currently standing by the door waiting on it. He's like, bro, where is my chicken bits? So yeah, he gets spoiled, but I've had to fight a raccoon off the past 2 nights. We've had to keep our eyes open for a raccoon that keeps coming up on the porch and beating the crap out of Cotton. And I don't have any traps or anything to dispose of said raccoon. So I might have to, because I can't have him. He will kill cotton for that food if you can't get to it. So, and I ain't about to have my boy getting hurt. Cotton has been with us since we got married. We rescued him. He's our little rescue boy. So we raised him on tuna. In my mind, I thought giving him tuna would be like the healthiest route of getting him healed up and, you know, back to good health. But now the cat loves tuna so much that if you open up a can of tuna around him, he literally goes crazy. Like he goes wild for tuna. And he loves chicken too, so we spoil him. He used to be an inside cat, but he loved going outside so much at our old house. Like you couldn't keep him inside. He would just dart out the door. So we decided that we would just put him outside. And he loves it out there. He's living his best life now. Alright, so got the 400 grams of chicken cut up, weighed out on the scale. And now we will do the 200 grams of veggies. So, with the veggies, I only use 3 kinds of veggies. Zucchini squash. Oh, gotta pull the brownie out of the oven. I'll show you guys what that looks like here in a second. But I only use 3 kinds of veggies. Zucchini squash, and I dice them up into these little dices here. I use spinach, and I use mushrooms. I typically use the green veggies more so because that's what my program calls for, is green veg. But I throw the mushrooms in there for flavor. So if I got 200 grams of veggies, I'll do 150 grams of the zucchini. Hopefully I have enough of that diced up. Yeah. And then I'll do 50 grams of the mushrooms, just for flavor. And this is what it looks like before I throw my seasoning on. And the seasoning that I've been using is this Weber honey garlic, if you guys can see that. And this stuff is like extremely good. It's got like a little bit of a sweet taste to it. And I've been really enjoying it because last prep all I used was lemon pepper. And then I just started experimenting with seasonings and I was like, oh, I really, really like this one. So I always put a dash on it and then I'll throw it on the stove, get it cooking, and then I'll dash just a little bit more on it as the chicken starts to cook. So, and from my experience, to get my chicken how I like it cooked right, how I like it cooked, I go really high heat, cook it very quickly, and just get it done quick, because I feel like hitting it with that high heat, cooking it fast, it traps that flavor inside the chicken better, so you don't have to like worry about your chicken getting dried out. Now, since tomorrow is leg day, I'm breaking out the big rice cooker. So I use my little rice cooker on the push-pull non-training days because I only get 100 grams of rice in meal 3, and then I get no rice in meal 2 on push-pull days. On training or on non-training days, I get 75 grams of rice in meal 3, no rice in meal 2. So I only need the little rice cooker to cook that little bit of rice. But on leg days, I get a total of 150 grams of rice between 2 meals. So I put all 150 grams into the rice cooker, and then I just split it up in between both meals. And what I'll do is I'll like put majority of the rice. I'll eat more rice pre-workout than I will in meal 2. So meal 3 is pre-workout meal. I'll make sure that more of the rice is in that meal than in meal 2. Hopefully I'm not being too confusing there with what I'm trying to say. So then we add our water. And I normally go about 2.5 cups of water in this rice cooker, just to make sure it covers the rice real good. And a friend of mine taught me that washing your rice is the best method because it will make the rice turn out better. So I do something kind of like that, but I stir my rice up really good until I get that like white film in the water, and then that white film kind of rises with the evaporation. So I will stir this now. So it'll look like this. And then like I said, that white milky film will rise to the top. And then what I'll do is I'll just put like a little dash of salt in here, because I'm already going to have salt in these meals anyway. But I put just like a little dash in there with the rice. And now we will get the rice cooking. I'll show you here what I got cooking for Cotton. That is Cotton's chicken that we are cooking up right now. And he is chilling out back, relaxing all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of the school. All right, the brownie is done. Now it is time to show you guys what it looks like in the pan. So, got the food on. Here is the brownie. This is what it'll look like when it comes out of the oven. And I will just flip this bad boy right onto a plate and show you what the bottom side of it looks like. Perfect. So everything comes out of the pan, and there it is, all nice and steamy on the plate. Perfect texture too. Now we make the whey paste that goes with it. I take my bowl. I've got my protein here because I got another 25 grams of protein to put with the whey paste because we separated it. I get 20 grams of 85% dark chocolate. So I will break off 20 grams into this bowl. I think I broke that off perfect too. Normally it doesn't happen all the time. First try. Didn't get it all the way on the first try. I thought I did. So now I will take this dark chocolate and I will melt this in the microwave so I can mix it up really good with the protein and the water. So we're gonna put this in the microwave for about 1 minute. Now I'm gonna dash some more seasoning on here. Okay, so dark chocolate is now melted. Now I will add the other 25 grams of protein. So there's the protein. Dark chocolate is melted underneath that. And now I will slowly pour some water into this until we whip it up into a icing. And I just use my little cake batter spoon that I used earlier, because this is what's going to help it get mixed up the easiest, and I'm going to use this to just pour it right out onto the brownie anyway. So now you just slowly start to add your water. I mean, like little tiny drips at a time. Mix it really good for a moment. It'll start to become like real thick and creamy, like peanut butter. And then a little bit more water. Like little bits at a time. A little more water. That might have been a little too much water. That was good. Should be good. And two, where your bowl is a little warm from melting the chocolate still, sometimes it'll help loosen that up a little bit so it'll stir and mix better. Alright. I'll show you guys what this looks like. So here is the whey paste. And now we will apply this to the brownie. Like I said, every gram counts right now, so I make sure I get every little stitch of whey paste out of this, as much as I can get off the bowl. Nights that I train, my wife makes this brownie for me. And I always say she makes stuff, it just tastes better when she makes it. But I do pretty good. Don't I, babe?
Yeah.
I do good to try at it?
Yeah. Do the best you can with what you got.
I feel like I'm pretty good. Okay. I'll lick the rest off the bowl. And off this too. Now I take my fork. I spread the icing the best that I can on the brownie so it just covers everything. And here we are, guys. Oh man. Look at that. And that is all on plan. And it is beautiful. And it tastes so good. So I'm gonna go enjoy this, watch some TV, then I'll show you guys what the prep meals look like after they're all said and done. Alright guys, here we are. Meal prep is done for the night. Got everything added in there, got the rice separated, and got the 2 grams of pink salt, 1 gram of no salt, 5 milliliters of macadamia nut oil, and that is applied to both these meals. And I do this same routine every single day. I I don't ever prep for like multiple days at one time. I've always just prepped the night before, make sure I got everything I need for the next day, just in case something was to happen. I don't know, like I always think, you know, if I prep ahead of time and something gets thrown off, I might be able to adjust quickly enough to fix something if something gets thrown off. But yeah, I always just prep one night at a time, prep everything for the next day, and then rinse and repeat each day. So just wanted to share with you guys how I meal prep, and really just share with you guys how I make that brownie. And that's all I got for this one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate all the support that I've gotten here lately, especially with all the extra subscribers and followers on Instagram, and just a bunch of support that I've gotten here recently. And I really appreciate it. I don't ever expect to get that kind of following, so anytime that I get just a little bit, it's really overwhelming. So thank you guys, and I will catch you in the next video.